Hello there! My name is Tanner, and I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. Why yes, as a matter of fact, I did shave fairly recently, so for now, we're gonna have to deal with babyface Tanner until my beard grows back. Now that we've got that out of the way, since spooky season has finally arrived, you may start to notice a new theme for the next few videos on this channel. Over the next 3 weeks, I will be counting down my top 30 spookiest/scariest mythological creatures, in no particular order. And then for the final 2 weeks, I will be telling you my interpretations of 2 very spooky stories. Fair warning, however, some of these videos will be rather unsettling, so watch at your own risk. So without further ado, here is part 1 of my top 30 scariest mythological creatures, in no particular order. Number 30, Camazotz. Now, Camazotz was a god from ancient Mayan culture who was basically the earliest known vampire-like being, and was considered the god of death, the god of the night, the god of the underworld, and, most vampiric of all, the god of bats. Yes, he was a Mayan god whose sacred animal was the bat. Spooky, huh? Number 29, Futakuchi Onna. The Futakuchi Onna, which means two-mouthed woman, is a story from Japanese folklore in which a miserly old man lives by himself because he'd rather not pay to feed a wife. One day, he meets a woman who claims to be a hard worker without needing to eat, and so he was thrilled and took her to be his wife. However, soon after their marriage, he realizes that his rice stores are slowly being depleted. One day, the man pretends to leave for work, but instead stays behind to spy on his wife. When he sees her moving towards the rice stores, he follows her and then watches in horror as the woman undoes her hair, which begins writhing like tentacles, and the back of her head opens up and becomes a second mouth, which the prehensile hair starts shoveling rice into. Creepy! Number 28, the Hydra. Now, the Hydra is a classic creature from ancient Greek mythology. It usually takes the form of a snake-like or dragon-like creature that has several heads, and most notably, when you cut off one of its heads, 2 more will grow back in its place. It's also said to either spit acid or poison, and it's supposedly so poisonous that even smelling its footprints is deadly. Yikes. Number 27, the Harpy. Another Grecian mythological creature, harpies were said to take the shape of large birds of prey with the heads of women, sometimes beautiful young maidens, sometimes old crones. Now, in the myths, they were usually described as the personifications of storm winds, and were also said to be the personifications of things like famine or hunger. Number 26, the kappa. Another creature from Japan, the kappa is a creature described as basically a hybrid of a human and a turtle, but sometimes with demonic aspects as well. They're known for being pranksters, though their pranks can range from being as harmless as looking up a woman's kimono, to as extreme as luring people to the river that the kappa calls home, drowning them, and eating them. However, there are a few ways to defeat the kappa, or at the very least distract it. First of all, kappas love cucumbers, so if you find that you're being chased by one, toss a cucumber to your kappa and it'll leave you alone. Second, all you have to do is bow to a kappa and trick it to bow back to you. You see, on the top of a kappa's head is a bowl-like dent called a sara. The sara is usually filled with water, and while it's filled with water, the kappa can move about like any other creature. However, if you bow to it and get it to bow back, it will spill some of the water, thereby weakening it, if not killing it, if not turning it into a statue. Sources disagree. Number 25, the Chimera. The Chimera is yet another ancient Greek creature. In the ancient myths, the chimera was said to take the form of a mishmash of various creatures, usually the head and forelegs of a lion, the body, hind legs, and sometimes the extra head of a goat, and a living serpent for a tail. If that wasn't scary enough, it was also said to breathe fire. Either way, unless I have a hunk of lead like what Bellerophon used against it in the original myth, I am not going anywhere near this creature. Number 24, Frankenstein's monster. Now I say Frankenstein's monster because, contrary to popular belief, Frankenstein was the scientist and not the monster. Though the popular versions of Victor Frankenstein and his creature couldn't be any more different from what the original tells us. First of all, Victor Frankenstein wasn't even a doctor in the original novel. Instead, he was basically a college student. Also, the creature wasn't the lumbering, moaning, stiff-armed creature like in the movies. Far from that, he was A, intelligent and articulate once he started learning about the world around him, and B, beautiful, if somewhat viscerally disturbing. Also, the reason Victor was afraid of the creature essentially boiled down to he didn't get the eye color right. The creature is actually described as having eyes that were an off-white color that matched the sockets that they were in. Also, Victor does not exactly mention how he brings the creature to life in the books, which means that the whole electricity lightning thing is exclusive to the movies. What's really unsettling about the creature, though, is the fact that, at least according to my research, not only is he intelligent, but also cunning and calculating. And if you cross him, as Victor finds out the hard way, he will perfectly calculate the best way to ruin you. Number 23, Jiangshi. The Jiangshi is a creature that originates from China and is usually described as a corpse dressed in traditional garb from the Qing dynasty. The Jiang in the name Jiangshi literally translates to stiff or hard, and it's believed that the Jiangshi are stiff with rigor mortis, and therefore cannot bend their limbs, so they have to get around by hopping, with their arms outstretched to maintain balance. They are also described as feeding off of the life energy, or qi, of living beings. However, nowadays they are sometimes described as feeding on blood due to their modern-day association with Western vampires. Number 22, the Manticore. A creature originating from the sands of Persia, the Manticore is a chimerical creature described as having the face of a man, the body of a lion, and a tail that either is scorpion-like or covered in quills like a porcupine. Other descriptions of the manticore claims that they have several rows of razor-sharp teeth, 3 to be precise, and they leave no traces of their prey behind, not even a single bone. Yikes. Modern-day interpretations also tend to give manticores wings, therefore flight. Either way, if this creature was real, I definitely wouldn't want to meet it in a dark forest. Would you? Number 21, the Alp. The Alp is a demonic creature from Germanic folklore and is essentially the original sleep paralysis demon. Alpa are described as being shapeshifters, either being able to turn to a cat, a dog, a snake, a pig, or a white butterfly. Some sources say Alpa are able to take on human form as well, though you can easily figure out their true nature because they have, quote, eyebrows that meet in the middle, unquote, aka a unibrow. However, no matter what form it takes, an Alp is never seen without a hat, called a tarnkappa, on its head. Literally translated as cap of concealment, the tarnkappa gives an Alp the ability to turn invisible. They will usually visit you during the night and sit on your chest, giving you nightmares and sleep paralysis, and will feed off of the fear that those nightmares give you. And there we have it. That was part 1 of my top 30 scariest / spookiest mythological creatures, in no particular order. If you like this video and you want more, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below so you don't miss any new videos. Also, if there are any other ideas you want to see in future videos, please leave your thoughts in the comments down below and it might just happen. Alright, well that's all the time I have for this video, so I will see you all next week with part 2 of my scariest / spookiest mythological creatures. See you then!